All right, y'all ready? I see faces, I see boxes, I see names, I see letters. Jason?
All right, welcome one and all friends and guests, and congratulations to the PALA cohort of 2021-2022. Today we are fueling our next fight, mind, body, and soul. I will be one of your hosts today. I am Tegan Coates, she, her, they, them, and I was placed at Art Chair LA. And introducing my co-host, a song.
Hey guys, it's a song. So happy to see you guys. I am here. We made it, right? I'm coming from obviously Paula, but from Jazz Hands for Autism. And we are just really happy to share this with you. I hope everyone received their self-care kits. I hope those who didn't have some self-care items ready. And let's get ready to get into it. So first and foremost, we have our president and CEO, Benny Torres. Without him, we wouldn't be here doing this. Hey, Benny.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Wow, I gotta get rid of this shirt. I realized this is the shirt that I have on this picture, and this picture is like from many moons ago. Anyway, folks, good morning, everybody. It's an honor and a privilege, honestly, to get the opportunity to say a few words on behalf of CD Tech, the board of directors, our whole South Central Los Angeles community of advocates and collaborators to this tremendous moment, right? This is the graduating class of 21-22, by far the biggest graduating class we've ever had in the current moment of COVID, right? Which makes this totally special. And before I get into saying a few words towards the graduates, I'd like to really thank Claudia and Danae and Navor and Jason and Brittany, and of course Nicole, for all their hard work in putting this cohort together. Our biggest challenge, in terms of in times of COVID, a lot of organizations were asked to step up and do a lot of work, and that's what the responsibility in the community was about. And CD Tech stepped up, and the Public Ally Program team stepped up like never before. And I really want to thank the leadership of Claudia. This was basically her first class of ally teams, and not only recruiting and partnering, but also in terms of working with the staff to cultivate by far the most diverse class we've ever had. So it's not just about numbers, but about diversity. The other thing that's important to understand is that the focus of this year's class was exclusively on South Central Los Angeles residents in terms of the services y'all are providing. We tried to also invest in South Central Los Angeles participants, and for the most part, most of you either identified, connected with, or all of you definitely provided services in our South LA area. So we're extremely happy with that. That's what this is about. In times of COVID, in times of challenges, and stepping up and responding to the demands of the Black Lives Matter movement on the street for change, to address racial, historically racist, anti-Black policy, we needed to all step up. In terms of responding to the voters who said we need change at the ballot box, we need change in terms of representation, we all stepped up. In terms of providing services to our communities most vulnerable, that most impacted by COVID, we all stepped up. So I want to really thank the staff and all the CD Tech team that supports the PA program for their contribution. Second of all, I'd like to just take a moment to tell you a couple of different things as a graduating class. It was an honor to be in the class with you. It's been really nice to meet some of you offline and develop kind of relationships that I'm here to provide as much support as I can going forward. But I got to tell you something, the maturity of this class, the diversity, the amount of Black men in this class, the age variety in this class, to me, that was super, super important. And this isn't to take away from anybody else, but the fact that we had such a targeted, such a diverse group of people all trying to build community while virtually, right? In this moment that we're in is just a testament to your all's commitment. So when I see this body, mind, soul, it is that you all are committed. It's important to understand that we have a responsibility to our community to give. We have a responsibility in our community to take care of each other, to step up for each other. It's important, and we have a responsibility to our community to take care of ourselves, right? We can only regulate our own self-care. You can't mandate it. You have to regulate it yourself. You have to demand it. But the important thing is that we're all committed towards changing systemic conditions in our communities, to creating opportunities both that address historical racial inequality, to addressing issues of inclusivity, to make sure that our community becomes progressive and open-minded, that the diversity that exists in our community is important, but that we have to make sure that we think about everybody in our community and that we're targeting those historically most marginalized, and that we're centering their stories as a focal part of any sort of systemic change or programmatic change or financial investment that we're trying to make in our community. So I want you to take that message and continue as you grow in this field. We wanted to expose you to the nonprofit sector. I believe it's where change happens, but that's my perspective. And I know that we've been pushing a lot on the nonprofit sector for many years, and that's good. It's good to hold us accountable. It's good to push for change and reform. But whether you're in the nonprofit sector, committed to providing services, building capacity, or empowering residents in our community, or whether you're committed to the government sector, which is about representing the most vulnerable, centering them, moving your egos aside, right? If it's about transforming systemic conditions so that many people have an opportunity to be represented, to have a voice, to engage in democratic action and be change agents for life, or whether you go into the private sector, right, and develop new entrepreneurial ideas and opportunities to not be extractive in our community, but to bring something of value to our community, to give our community what it deserves, what it needs. All of this requires a lot of self-discipline, a lot of dignity and self-respect, and a focus on building your own capacity to grow and develop and evolve. So for the graduating class, I really, really want to tell you, take that with you. Think about it. You can apply it in many different ways. The skills that you developed in this program will take you a long way, believe me. We've had some amazing graduates that are doing some great things in our community, looking at systemic issues, trying to create representation, trying to bring resources and services, and look at the world from a different vantage point, a vantage point that's not about exploitation, but about building and giving and collaborating. And with that, I will say is that, so I'm just really, really proud of you all for going through this program. We've been fighting for many years to keep it going, and we will continue to fight to make sure that the Public Allies program is available to more people in South Central Los Angeles, to support more small nonprofits in South Central Los Angeles, and to build the kind of infrastructure in our communities that we deserve with justice and respect and dignity. I will say the last thing is that none of this happens by yourselves, right? What we did this year with the South Los Angeles nonprofit apprenticeship program was trust and work together with other collaborators, one of which I will introduce and let him say a few words, but none of this can be done by ourselves. CD Tech can't roll this out by themselves. Public Allies National can't roll this out by ourselves. We need partners. And so I want to thank all the small and mid-sized and big nonprofits who joined us in this journey to strengthen the capacity of the services, and offer the chance of having nonprofit partnerships placed at your organization for these 10 months to build your capacity and strengthen your ability, but also to give us exposure, give our young people and not so young people, right, a chance to understand what the nonprofit world looks like, how we can do better, how we can improve, how can we strengthen what we have. The other thing I want to thank is I want to thank Slate Z. Without Slate Z as the kind of overarching umbrella to say SLATE is a movement of organizations in South LA committed to changing the economic landscape, right, of our South LA community. And so that was a critical partner because they were able to connect many of the organizations to this process. And we made this about bringing resources and addressing the economic impact, economic conditions in South LA by creating these apprenticeships to these careers, which is something that many times our community is denied. And then the last group I'd like to thank, and this is something really important for me, is that none of this happens without investment, folks. Investment, remember, the city has a lot of different things that they could prioritize, and they could make an argument for everything that they do. But what I appreciate about this class and this investment and this program, this partnership, was with Council Member Curran Price and the City Council District 9. And I'll tell you this, the reason why this project got piloted this year and the reason why it's going to continue to grow is because the community on the street demanded change. They said no more investment in law enforcement, invest in Black and brown bodies and Black and brown leadership and workforce development opportunities in South Central itself. And so they demanded change. And so when the city boldly, the council members, including Council Member Price, who stood up and said, we're going to take money away from LAPD and reinvest it in our public safety programs by investing in leadership, workforce development, and community building. And he put his money and his mouth together, and they brought us the money to provide the paid stipends for the majority of the public ally graduating class of this year. That is super important because there's a lot of people pulling on you to do different things. And the council member said, no, I'm going to invest in South Central Los Angeles. I'm going to invest in CD9. I'm going to invest in the nonprofits. I'm going to invest in people from CD9 to develop their capacity to be change agents for the future, because that's what our community needs and deserves. So I wanted to do that, to make that connection, to just introduce Councilmember Curran Price, who we've been working with for many years. He just got reelected for his final term. So these next 4 years of his leadership will be critical in setting up kind of the building blocks for what happens in 4 years and going forward in the 9th Council District, but also as part of the larger regional South Central LA landscape. So I want to thank him. Thank you so much, Council Member, for your contribution to this program, for what you invested in terms of the resources, but for being a champion of transformative, progressive change in South Central Los Angeles, specifically in the 9th. And we look forward to continuing this partnership going forward. And I want to just create an opportunity for you to share a few words with our graduating class. So thank you all. Super excited. We're going to continue to do work together, graduates. This is not the end, it's just a transition. You all know we have a lot of opportunities through the Complan program to get you continue your internship program, advance that work, learn and get paid to do this, because this is what we need in our community. But with that, I'll pass it over to the Council Member Curran Price. Thank you very much, graduating class. It was an honor to share some words with you this morning.
Thank you, Vinny. It's really an honor for me to be with all of the graduates this morning. I'm so proud of you, what you represent, and what you've accomplished so far. Fueling the next generation, the next fight, and those are some powerful words. And I just want you to know, on behalf of the 250,000 citizens who live right here in CD9, we're pulling for you, and we're so proud of you. You're making history. You are making history. This cohort, as Benny pointed out, coming out of the pandemic, had lots of obstacles, but there's lots of opportunities as well. And I'm just so proud that you have chosen to identify opportunities to work together and to really make a difference. Your leadership is going to be critical if our community is going to grow and prosper. I should say, continue to grow and prosper. We're going to need strong, informed, committed community leaders. And all of you represent that in your own very special way. You represent a new generation of leadership right here in CD9 and in South LA. We know it's not limited. And beyond that, some of you will have opportunities to travel and live other places. And I hope you'll be able to take these skills and abilities with you as you embark upon big real change agents wherever you are. It's significant that our community-based organizations are an important part of this learning experience for you. I frequently say that the nonprofits in CD9 are almost like a shadow government. because they're so focused on a variety of issues and concerns that make a difference in our community. And Slate Z has played a very exciting role in bringing organizations together. And so I'm just so proud that this collaboration is really manifesting itself in opportunities for you to learn, to grow, and to achieve. These nonprofits that you've been dealing with, of course, are focused on everything from health, education, the arts, community engagement. But the key word is the opportunity to give back and to really make a difference. Your participation in this unique program, and a shout out to CD Tech for really being a champion of it, not just this year, but in prior years as well. But your participation is going to equip you with skills and contacts. Let me say it again, skills and contacts that are going to help you on your journey. And that's what's so exciting. That journey may be going back to school. That journey may be taking a job in the public sector, taking a job in the nonprofit sector, but making a difference wherever you are. And so I'm just proud that the council office was able to provide some assistance, able to provide encouragement, and able to say, we care about you, we love you, and we are proud of what you are doing and what you're achieving. And remember, you're all leaders. You are leaders already. And so this program is just enhancing your skills, enhancing your abilities, and maybe giving you some new ideas, new directions. But you have to keep in mind, as this program does, that we have to always focus on equity and opportunity. Equity and opportunity. And again, your involvement in this program demonstrates that that is true, and that it's important that we work in a collaborative way to really make that happen. And so we can't forget the work that we do. We can't forget those in need the most. You know, of course, our focus is on Black and brown families, you know, but we know that the needs certainly go beyond that. But we want to make sure we're giving to those who need, and that we are holding government and others accountable, and that we are focusing on those issues of equity and opportunity. So again, on behalf of the 250,000 citizens who live right here in CD9, I want to show how proud we are of your achievements and your celebration today. It's certainly well worth it. But we know that this is just the beginning. So we look forward to working with all of you to collaborate to make the art community the best possible. Know that my door is always open to any of you. If you have any thoughts, ideas, suggestions, don't hesitate to give me a call. Don't hesitate to text me. Benny knows how to reach me, and you will too. So again, on behalf of the entire city, the 4 million residents who live here in LA, we just want to say congratulations, keep up the good work, and we are in this together. Thank you.
Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow.
All right.
Next up, we have some Palace staff sharing some words to the cohort. So welcome Palace staff, and thank you for all your hard work this year.
Thank you. Pete. Thank you for the sound effects. It's not a Paula space if there's no sound effects. Thank you again to Benny and to Councilmember Price for partnering and supporting this entire 10 months. And some of y'all said yesterday, it seemed like it was longer, and I feel that. I do also want to thank all of our partners that really allowed for allies to support closely in the community. And I don't want to take too long. I want to go ahead and make sure that the team is able to address y'all, I just want to remind you just a little bit of the impact that y'all have made in these 10 months. Nearly 75,000 hours of service that contributed to the development, to the support, to the service in our South Los Angeles community. That's all you. Y'all were there doing all the work, whether it was service day, whether it was training, whether it was placement in your individual roles. And I'm so humbled and privileged to be able to witness that with y'all. It's exciting for me to see y'all building this community that we, even through these multiple pandemics, that we so strive to instill and to create, and to see the graduate committee come together to make sure that everyone was represented, felt seen and cared for. Y'all know I get all sentimental. I'm humbled, and I'm so grateful to be part of this space. I look forward to working with some of y'all, and also seeing all of your contributions that you continue to make as you go amongst, that next journey. But again, I want to be brief. There's a lot that I want to say, and hopefully I will get a chance to say that to y'all as we continue to check in with each other. I'll hand it off to the person that ensured that this space was created in the most efficient, caring, compassionate way, Friday through Friday. Danae.
Thank you. Hey everyone, my name is Danae, she, her, they, them pronouns. I am also an alumni of this program, class of 2011-2012. Yes, bum, bum, bum. That is our sound. And I am so proud of y'all. I told y'all this was going to go by fast. When we met in November, y'all were like, oh my God, 10 months, 1,700 hours. I was like, trust, it's going to go by fast. And here we are at graduation. And just to name, some of the highlights that, we did in training, right? For folks who are, our community members who are here, I want to let y'all know that our allies got professional training, and they also got trainings to understand community. We did asset-based community development training. We also did a class with Benny Torres, Complan 40, shout out to LA Trade Tech, our partnership that we have with them. They were able to understand what are the logic models, why it's so important to have structures and a plan to what we want to do, right? We also talked about our leadership life maps, right? What is our individual contributions? How did we grow up to be who we are and where we want to be, right? We learned, we did, trainings around power, privilege, and oppression to understand, one, the political landscapes of our communities, but also the history of our communities, right? We did spend some time talking about anti-Blackness. That is a huge thing, right? That has more than ever has started resurfacing, right? It's always existed, but it's resurfacing in spaces. And so how do we deal with that? How do we make an inclusive space and center Black leadership, right? And just some other ones, right? We did trainings around gender and sexuality, and also on the prison industrial complex. So these are just a few trainings that I named. The allies have been wonderful in learning and unlearning, right? And it's so great to see that they're implementing what they learned in our program, right, into their communities. So thank you all. I am gonna miss y'all on Fridays. It's gonna feel empty without y'all on Fridays. And we did it. It was not easy. The virtual setting, the virtual space has its challenges. I understand, but y'all did it. And so a big hug to you all, and congrats, high fives, all of that good stuff, good energy. And I'm going to pass it over to the next person of our team who has really led the resources and support foundation of our program. So I'll pass it over to Navor.
Bow, bow, bow.
Thank you, Donna. Oh, thank you, Donna. And I'll go ahead and pass it on to Brittany as well. No. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining this cohort's graduation. My name is Navor. My pronouns are they, them. And I was part of the class of 1990 to 1991. No, I'm just joking. Class of 2016 to 2017 specifically, so 5 years ago. So this feels a little secular of my own journey as well. I'll keep my what I'm going to share brief, but I just want to reiterate again that a huge component of why y'all are here is your cohort, right? And especially yourselves. Thank you for being the retention and support services for each other. Y'all retained each other, y'all kept each other safe, y'all kept each other accountable, y'all attended in all the capacities given your own individual and collective context, right? So I'm so blessed to share space and receive your offerings, whether it be ally-led workshops to your own presence and creativity. Again, congrats, class of 2021 to 2022. Y'all made it, like as quoted from Legally Blonde. I'm just joking, no. But I'll go ahead and pass it along to Brittany Bradley, who is the program manager of recruitment. And she is often undercredited for the amount of work she puts in. And I just want to give her a shout out and the kudos that she has earned and totally deserves. So let's welcome Brittany Bradley. Bow, 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 bow.
Thank you. Yes, name is Brittany Bradley. I am also a two-time alum of the program. I just want to say, I'll try and keep it short, but although it hasn't always felt easy, right? I just want to say congratulations. You all made it. The first cohort of this Slana partnership, the first cohort that I'm officially a program manager. I'm just so happy to have met all of you. Big shout out to my second years. I know this was a huge adjustment for you all as well. With such a large cohort this year, I just want to say y'all did an amazing job leading the first years. Hopefully I'll see some of you back as second years next year. But for the rest of you all, I'm here if you ever need anything. And like you've heard me say multiple times, whether it was for time logs, writing resumes, please, 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 as you navigate this world, do not sell yourself short. I love you all. And I would like to, is Nicole here? I would like to pass it to Nicole Beeson, the program manager of Pathways.
Thank you, Brittany. Yes, I'm here. Hello. Good morning to everyone. I'm happy to see everyone here. My position is going to be very short because I came in obviously at the very tail end of this cohort, but I, as a former ally, and an alum of Public Allies, I understand that this day is so exciting for many reasons. And yeah, I am very happy to see that you all are graduating, that you pushed through with everything that have been going on with you. Maybe it been personal, placement, Paula, self, whatever the case may be, you should be patting yourself on the back because you've actually made it to this moment. And I'm very, 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 very proud of you. I really wish that I was here like the rest of the staff, Paula staff, when we first started, but I was able to connect with a lot of you, and I'm very appreciative of that. I hope that going forward, when you walk out in the real world, well, let's just be clear, you're in the real world now, but when you really get your feet wet, and when you go out there, there's so many things that you can take from this program, from the teachings, from your house, from your peers, that you can implement in whether it be corporate America, nonprofit, doing community work. I promise you those things will kick in and it will come to your remembrance. And make sure you heed to those things because that will help you navigate this world in a much better way, especially with the climate that we're in now. So with that being said, once again, I wish I had a lot more of a connection with this cohort, but given sitting in on training, listening, tutorials, your presentations, I hear the growth even though I wasn't there at the beginning. I learned some things, the creativity, all of that. You all have what it takes to make it. And that's why I'm happy. Yay us, yay you, we're here. Happy graduation day. Yay.
Bow, 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 bow.
Go Nicole.
All right, and thank you, Palace staff, one more time. And next we have a self-care activity with a song.
Hello, guys, my lovely, lovely loved ones. I should have said it earlier. I was like, oh, I hope everybody brewed their tea. Did you guys all receive your self-care packages? Because I know some of you received these in the mail. Some of you guys picked them up at CD Tech. We were very happy to put these together for you guys. As you know, going with the theme of fueling our next fight, it's a big thing. And you guys know, I like to mom the whole cohort. So it's like, I took in some insights from Donna A. We put the pop-it bracelet because Donna A is always telling us, keep our mind focused, keep our hands busy, keep us in our seats, you know. Face mask, the foot mask. So I took this from a segment we had with Little Bear, and we were trying to get Little Bear to get on camera. Little Bear's like, I have a face mask on. And so I was like, let's all do face masks together, and we made it happen. So if you guys would like to, I would love for us to all sit here and engage in self-care as we fuel our next fight. Y'all down? Y'all down? All right. So also the foot mask. Okay. I don't know. Some people might not be into it. I told Donna A and the board like early on, I do a foot mask every time because I'm fully remote. I put my feet in these every time I'm in a meeting because I have meetings with my placement. So once a week I put these on, and it just, I don't know. We have to keep ourselves in the game. So, all right, y'all. Open your masks. Let's put our face masks on. Let's be candid together. Let's spend time. Let's hold space. I don't know if everybody's coming, but let's do this together. Pull the hair backs, girls, guys, peoples. Let's get into it. I'm looking at y'all cameras. I got all the boxes up. Benny, I left one at CD Tech for you. I don't know if you got it. Okay. I was really trying to be inclusive with everyone. I put these together with love, hand address. So unfold your face mask, y'all. Angie, did you get yours? I shipped some. I handed some, but yeah, let's do our face mask.
Me and Cynthia used ours last night.
Girl,
I didn't know we were gonna do this here on the Zoom.
I should have put a card. I get it. I hope you enjoyed the stickers, the motivation we put in for everybody. Why is mine sticking together? So I'm just gonna put mine on real quick, but I gotta talk to y'all because I got some words for y'all. So let's get into it. Oh Lord. John, where's your face mask? You got yours early. Stop playing with me.
I thought it was in the one at City Tech.
Stop.
I have this mud mask I can put on right
Put it
now.
on.
All
Come on. Hold space. We in here together. Y'all feeling it? We in here? If you want, you can put your feet in the squishy socks. If not, do it during your Netflix time. All right, so. And this is, y'all know me. There is no nothing with the song. Y'all know I don't hold back. Y'all get what y'all get out of me. So look, what we're gonna get right now is love. Can we get to the, I can't, hold on, I was looking at the boxes to hold you guys accountable. Okay, up, go back last slide, the board, please. Okay, so as we prepare to move into our next phase, it's important to take time off to support yourself so that you can better support others. You guys know this is not my first training or conversation on self-care and healing. So I just want to say that burnout happens when more of your life is draining and not enough is fulfilling. Coupling that with being in the perpetual cycle of survival mode, that can, a sense of hopelessness can take over. Statistically, they say 97% of mothers have reported feeling burned out. And if you consider the daily stressors of being a BIPOC person in America, I'm sure that applies to most of our community. This is why self-care is important. It looks different from all of us. Decompression methods will differ. And that's why doing the inner work, learning yourself, and your limits is important. It's also important to be aware that self-care is a privilege. And, we have to tune out people sometimes, because listening to someone who's more privileged with you in the sake of time or money or just support, telling you just do this or just do that, that might be the thing that sets you off. So you guys know, I'm always an advocate of digging deep, knowing yourself, and y'all know I am vocal. I'm known for being vocal about being mostly for certain groups, and offering what I have left over to the other areas of interest in my life. And I've had conversations about this, but what I say is that this is how I keep my work fulfilling. So it has come across that I may be against or not giving to other marginalized groups, but it's just that I know that there's someone for everyone. And as we all represent South and Greater LA, just like the partners within PALA, partners that partner with PALA, they've worked together to create change. We work together collectively to create change in our world that we need. So if we focus on what we're most passionate about, we'll have the capacity to work harder and longer without feeling drained. So in order to avoid burnout in the work that we all have shown so much work towards and the work that we do, I suggest deep self-reflection, life audit, and self-care. So Ikigai is a Japanese concept, and it's about basically taking what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. And in that little sweet spot in the middle, you'll find your passion, what you can do, and that can kind of keep you going in a work that feels more fulfilling. Next slide, please. And so these are some deep self-reflection questions. I can share this slide. I can share these with you. This is something that I like to do. Some people call it shadow work. It's just self-reflection. What you want to do is, hold on, I'm gonna slide my mask, y'all. So what you want to do, and if you take it off, just rub it in, y'all. I'm like the queen of face masks. What you want to do is answer these questions with yourself. Take some time. This is not something that you share with anyone. This is, think high school, having that journal with that little raggedy tiny little lock on it with the key that everybody lost. This is deep questions to yourself. And this is what's going to help you to understand who you are and who you're for, and also what you need to work against within yourself so that you can work for the people, because we have work to do. We've seen every day in this community. So these are some questions that are really good to help you kind of dig into who you are and find your purpose. Next question, next slide. And this here is part of the life audit. This actually went with Ikigai. These are things that you can look at, areas of your life, body, finding a workout plan that works for you, fixing your sleep schedule, setting boundaries with people, making a vision board for your mind, changing your food, financial, making a budget will really just help your day-to-day. It seems simple, but it will help you relieve stressors in other areas, So all of these things, finding a book that's fulfilling, something, I know that Trap Hills always suggests everyone reads The Alchemist. Like, these are things where you can pick something from here and feed yourself, because we have things that are draining and we have things that are filling, and we have to make sure that we're doing the fulfilling things in our life. Next slide, please. And then lastly, these are ways to practice self-care, whether you have 5, 10, or 30 minutes. And this is important, again, like I said, once you've done that self-reflection and you're targeting the work that you're doing, and you do that life audit and you remove, I like that wine too, Benny. You remove the things that, we kind of get into patterns, and there's things that we do on a daily basis that aren't serving us, that we just haven't stopped doing. So once you remove those things and you made more time, then here is, chances for you to take those moments. And like I said, we all generally in this Zoom call right now, we're in the same body of work. And sometimes you only have 5 minutes, but you got to pull away. You guys know I'm a mother, I'm a caregiver, I'm here. I take them 5 minutes all the time. So these are just some suggestions of ways to kind of pull that self-care in. If you have more, take more. But this is what we mean when we say fueling the next fight. And so this was my segment on self-care. I hope everyone enjoyed their packages, their face masks. Put your foot in them socks. It's so weird at first, but you'll love it. The stickers, the motivation. You know, as the cohort mother, I love all of you. I always tell y'all, hit me up. Y'all know, y'all lucky I didn't throw no herbs in here. So it's here, it's all love. And take care of yourself. We got work to do, y'all. So as we wrap up, y'all can pull the mask off, y'all can leave them on. It says up to 15 minutes, however you feeling. I would like to move into our first POIL presentation. And we have the lovely Benny Benitez. And I just want to explain to anyone who's not familiar, a POIL is our presentation of impact and learning. And it is what we do a mini POIL halfway through, and we do a full POIL at the end. And it just gives your impact that you've received, but also you've given back as a result of PALA. Thanks.
I've always been passionate about connecting with the people in my community, getting to know folks and their stories. As people of color, we share the same stories of being surveilled and oppressed by police, by an unjust system. The nearest police station to me is only 2 blocks away, so there's never a day that I don't see a cop car patrolling the streets. In my community, we face obstacles like inadequate education, food deserts, displacement, poverty, and incarceration, just to name a few. Before I share the work and continuous learning I have done at Youth Justice Coalition, also known as YJC, I want to give a huge shout out to the person who listened and believed in me when I was just a teenager, trying to bring awareness to the injustices occurring in my community. Side note, this is also what YJC is about, listening and valuing the voices of youth of color. My high school art teacher, Mr. Garcia, was my mentor all throughout my high school year. The following interview will be a brief description of who he is and what he has done for hundreds of youth, including myself.
Right now we are at South Park. It's a local community park in South Central Los Angeles, and it's on 51st and Avalon. I grew up in this community about 3-4 blocks from here on 45th and Avalon. So I would walk here sometimes. I worked here for 3 years at Maya Angelou Community High School from 2011 to 2013 as a high school art teacher, but I've been working for about 12 years for the district at my alma mater, Thomas Jefferson High School. And so I've been teaching overall 9 years at Jefferson, and overall for the district I've taught for 12 years. I've considered myself an artist since I was about 20 years old, and I started developing my work through the Day of the Dead culture, and so some of my earlier work focused on Day of the Dead, and so slowly but surely I've developed that work from Dia de los Muertos to now recognizing the familial and cultural knowledge of the students in our communities, as well as reflecting the social barriers that exist for communities of color. In modern times, right, with our current president, I do push the idea of using creativity as a form of resistance, right? So telling our narratives, right, through our own perspectives and not through the Eurocentric perspectives that we're taught in history books. And so I go into a deep analysis of history, knowledge, and the culture that exists outside of our classrooms.
When I began my work with YJC, one of the first things that stood out to me, besides their movements and commitment to empower youth and families of color, was the space and the incredible artwork all throughout the building. Through graffiti, folks made their statements, their presence, and left a message to those who viewed it. This art form of expressing oneself is very powerful to me. It reminds me of when I was a child and I had family members who always did amazing graffiti. Different colors, shapes, styles, and techniques going into their pieces was just mesmerizing. Graffiti became special to me growing up because a lot of my family members got incarcerated and I had lost access to seeing them, but not their art. I once heard that graffiti culture is where people express themselves, showing the true entity of their hearts. So for me, I kept close the hearts of my incarcerated family members. Despite it being an illegal activity, throughout South Central there is graffiti in every corner of a street. In most cases, you can see it on the side of markets and liquors. If I'm being honest, those are the parts of my community that I like to look at the most. YJC's building is called the Chucos Justice Center, and I could look at it all day, every day. The first drawings on walls appeared in caves thousands of years ago. Later, the ancient Romans and Greeks wrote their names and protest poems on buildings. Now we live in a time where rules and regulations prohibit most street art. However, South Central and Chucos embrace all forms of art, and I really appreciate that. I know other youth in the community do too. YJC has always fought for the youth in the community. Against who, you might be wondering? Well, against the youth justice system.
They hold me at gunpoint all because I'm brown and I'm wearing a white tee and fit the profile of whoever they were looking for. I've been locked up. I know the pain and violence that police and the justice system inflict on people who look like me. I was forced to adapt in this broken system that criminalizes and cages youth for making a mistake.
I have always felt and said that the police don't serve and protect us, but instead search and hunt for their next victim to put behind bars. Therefore, Black and brown youth are extremely vulnerable when it comes to having contact with the police. If youth don't know their rights, which in most cases they don't, they can get taken advantage of by police. A public place with police nearby doesn't even feel safe, but on the contrary, and I know a lot of youth who have mentioned that. I've also had my personal experiences in high school. Prior to YJC, a safe space of mine was a nearby park called Ross Snyder. Every day after high school, my friends and I would spend hours hanging out in the park. 3 times out of 5, we would get stopped by police officers patrolling the streets. They were illegal stops and frisks, which at the time I didn't know. After graduating from high school, I saw that the number of youth hanging out at the park after school hours had increased by a lot. So did police activity. I started to witness police officers taking advantage of youth at the park, continuing to make constant stops and frisks. I then began to do cop watch every single day from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. once all the park lights were turned off and youth went home. I knew there were going to be a lot of things I was going to learn based on conversations I heard about transformative justice, peace building, and events for youth. Everything I've learned within YJC, I've been able to pass down to youth who haven't been able to join youth spaces. By doing this, I've improved my speaking and outreach skills through consistent engagement in youth spaces. Slowly but surely, I was able to facilitate a Lobos monthly retreat meeting, which I was honestly terrified about. Folks in the space showed me patience when adjusting to new spaces. They became my mentors throughout the months and always encouraged me to push beyond my comfort zone. I appreciate everyone from YJC. Shout out to the Lobo Squad. Shout out to my POP members, Emilio, Tauhida, and Gloria, my supervisor, who I had the honors to graduate alongside.
Let's hear it for Benny, y'all.
See John with the vibes. Here we go.
And please welcome our guest speaker number 1, David Roman from the South Central Family Health Center.
Thank you very much, Tegan. I appreciate that. And what an amazing, I'm getting a moment here just to, sort of center myself after watching that amazing video. It should not be surprising to any of us, just amazing work that all of you do at Paula and that all of the apprentices do in this community. This is what I come to expect. And it's amazing. So just, big hand for all of you. Just, congratulations on finishing up this experience and for the new things that lie ahead. But I do want to talk a little bit about, Paula. It is a unique space. It's a unique place where you have been fortunate enough to sort of be incubated in. It's a transition from whatever you were doing before into this consciousness of social justice. And you've really received the best transition that you can possibly have. You're talking about things today about self-care, about community, about social justice, about racial justice, and sort of finding your place in the world among that. That's a long-winded introduction to just sort of say, this is a transition and you're going to encounter things as you go on to your new jobs, as your new experience, your new educational opportunities that may not be as comforting as the experience you just had. I think Benny said it really well earlier when he talked about the importance of advocating for yourself. And so that's kind of where I'd like to go right now in talking about self-care. I work at South Central Family Health Center. We are a community health center. Where we provide primary medical, dental, behavioral health, and mental health services to the community. You would think that in an organization like us that is dedicated to health and wellness, that we would be on the front line of talking about issues about health and wellness, mindfulness, and self-care. And while many of us, I think, are on that vanguard, there are still some people within every organization, not just ours, that have generational challenges, communications challenges, and understanding challenges that don't always allow us to be the best caretakers of your health. So this is where I'm here to help you. We don't always talk about in management and about managing up, but it's one of the things that my 2 Paula apprentices really learned how to do very well here. And that is managing up is just a nice fancy way of saying how to effectively advocate for yourself with a manager who may be of a different generation, who may not understand your particular experiences, and yet you still need to be effective. You need to be effective in how you can advocate for yourself in a way that is respectful and understanding of that generational bridge. So I'm going to give you 3 pieces of advice that hopefully will help this transition into a more aggressive, capitalist, and definitely very hyper-competitive world where you can be effective in advocating for your own self-care. The first thing is communication. Make sure that you are doing your best job in communicating what your needs are, what your experience is, and where you're at in the world. I'm 44 years old and I'm learning something new every day. And one thing that I learn and am conscious of is that I'm not a mind reader. And that means that if my as you're entering the workforce, understand your supervisors want to support you. They want to be able to help you out. You're having a bad day. We're human beings. We don't stop being human beings. When we come into the workplace, you're having a bad day. You're having a difficult experience, and your supervisor may not know that. Communicate it. Let them know in a way that is respectful of their time and your privacy. Hey, this is what's going on in my life. I've got this going on with my parents. I've got this going on with my partner. I've got this going on with my schoolwork or my educational goals. You'll find that people are actually a lot more willing to be your partner and help you out, to facilitate time off, to facilitate, maybe some reprioritization of your work so that you can take care of other emerging priorities and emergencies. It's difficult to bridge that because very often people of my generation and generations that that came before me, we were just told to suck it up. We were told just work through it, suck it up. That's your problem. But that's a culture shift. That's a change that's happening. And so the more that you can communicate and provide that information in the workplace, the better that they're going to be able to be partners, and you'll be sort of leading by example, and you'll find that to be very effective as I have. The second piece of advice that I would offer to you is make sure that you are consistent in practicing self-care. That means that you're doing those things that make your life more complete. Work is fantastic and career goals are great to have, but they really don't mean much unless you're able to really enrich your life. So that means that outside of your work time outside of work is your time outside of work is yours. You create healthy boundaries and expectations with your managers by being clear about what you can and can't do. Yes, I can do this additional work. I can stay today for 15 minutes, but understand that I have other obligations that I need to meet. By being clear about that and by keeping those really good boundaries, what you do is you create not realistic expectations on both sides. That means your supervisor won't expect you to stay late every day. They won't expect you to work when you have time off. And like anything, it's a healthy habit to build and to sustain. And it's not easy, but my advice to you is stay with it. Keep those healthy boundaries and make sure that you can help one another. The last thing that I would say is this: engage your life every day with joy. When you come into your office, make sure that or your workspace, wherever that may be, make sure that what you're doing is the most amazing thing that you could possibly do, that gives you joy, that brings you happiness, a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment in your career and in your workspace. When that's not happening, it's time for you to find something else to do and to communicate that once again with your supervisor. We aren't always blessed with the opportunity to do what we love, but we should all strive to do that, to meet that goal in our lives. Do that. These are the aspects of self-care that you can practice at work that I think will go a really long way in helping you and your future supervisors to have a really enriched experience and build a really strong relationship that respects boundaries, that creates tempered expectations, and more than anything, really allows you to enjoy work and enjoy your time and being fulfilled when you're at work. Those are my pieces of advice. And thank you so much for having me today. And once again, congratulations to this year's Paula graduates.
Thank you so much, David. We really do appreciate you in this space. You're getting all kinds of love in the chat. I hope you're checking that out. And just thank everyone for being here. This is really a place of healing. And I just want y'all to know my forehead's not shiny. I'm glowing from my mask.
Hey, say that.
You too, John. I see you. Y'all, I feel like, only a few of us, but glow in your own time, guys. Self-care is whatever you call it. Next, we will have a beautiful poem from Tegan, and we just want to uplift that these poems were chosen by the cohort. We voted for them, and I'm noticing now the range of them, and it's all just coming together, and I'm really happy to have you all. I hope you all are enjoying this presentation. So without further ado.
This is the tale of Tegan Kowitz's Pala Adventure. And please join me as I retell the journey of self-discovery and growth. You may be asking yourself, how did I find myself on this journey? Well, as I was finishing my time as a scholar, where I learned skills such as event planning, community development, nonprofit fundraising, and program planning, the plague had spread across the land, making it difficult to find a guild to put my skills into practice. As the time went on, I discovered more evils that plagued the kingdoms. My courageous heart wanted to find ways to help the people who needed aid. And finally, I found a group of allies who wanted to train their gifts in order to fight the forces of darkness and aid the common folk. Where did my journey take place? I found myself continuing my training at Art Chair LA, who is tasked with the mission of aiding artists who practice the visual, performing, and mystical arts. They provide affordable event spaces to showcase their talents, whether it's art, dance, music, or the spoken word. And Art Chair also provides opportunities to artists to cultivate their skills and practice and earn coin for their dedication to their craft. How did I aid in the mission? I aided Art Share through sharing the artist stories on the website and providing links to their artist website and show social accounts, making it easier for art lovers to get in contact. I used their artwork information to create labels and catalogs in order to help share their vision. I also aided in guiding artists and community members around the castle to help them envision the events they wanted to hold within the walls. I also recorded the numbers of visitors and artists we gave aid to, and what events were held within the walls of Art Chair. What impact did I make? During my time at Art Chair LA, I updated the artist agreement and created an exhibition asset sheet to track the process of setting up exhibitions. I improved the rental agreement and created a rental brochure to give artists information on the event spaces and policies. And I cataloged the permanent collection to help the organization track artwork donations. I learned how to screen print, and on multiple occasions, I led workshops for the community members. One of Pala's core values is diversity and inclusion, and while inputting artist demographic information, it led me to the discovery that since the organization implemented the Diversity and Inclusion Initiative, there had been a 91% increase in presentations by people of color, a 10% increase in women and non-binary genderqueer people, and a 120% increase in LGBTQ artists. What did I learn through my time at Pala? Well, one thing is I learned how to take risks, and through Leadership Action 6, collaborate with a group, I ended up taking the initiative during our Service Day project and found myself in a leadership position. The group split up the work to try and work with the strengths of each individual. I did a good job with communicating with the group, but struggled with communicating with individuals who were having a difficult time. When I noticed this, I changed my mindset and I reached out. The group then had to prioritize certain tasks over others to compensate for the group members who needed that help. In the end, we were able to secure donations that were most needed, and the event was successful. I learned to make connections, and through Leadership Action 7, creating partnerships. My team, the House of the Trailblazers, saw that some of our goals aligned with the Royal House of Saffron. The two houses united and used our combined skills and knowledge to create a collaborative event for the Public Allies cohort, and it promoted health and wellness. We had a group hike, there was a picnic with healthy snacks, And we even had a little art workshop where we did some art therapy prompts with painting, which kind of ties into some of the things that I do at ArtShare with the art. And all should feel welcome and valued within these walls. Through leadership action number 2, building inclusive spaces, I learned through training and placement that spaces should feel welcoming to all members of the community. And whereas some galleries can feel classist and intimidating, ArtShare aims to be accessible for all identities, whether they be artisans, treasure collectors, common folk, travelers, or even those who live off the land. Everyone should feel welcome to enjoy art, and everyone should feel safe and valued as they share their craft. Art can reach so many unique people, and these are only just a handful of the events that happened at my time while I was at ArtShare LA. Resistance is not only fighting with this shield and sword. As you can see in these pieces, the artists added a little bit of resistance to their craft. There's Julie Lipa's mommy, Nicole Owens, the alchemist, woman of colors, Mary Cruz Baja, Sweet Red, Rick Ortega, the resurrection of Maya Huel. The magic of art can be powerful, as you can see through these photographs done by Ricardo Salvador Miranda, LA All Day, SC Mero, Vote by Mail, Jessie V. Castillo, A Woman's Work, Brittany Bravo, De La Tierra, and Raquel Natalejo, Burn It Down. It helps you see through the eyes of others, as you can see through Pam Douglas's Madonna and Child and Determined Anyway, Chooks' Silent Protest and Black Power, Black Superman, and Farsad Cohen, Passport. It can show hope for a brighter, more accepting future. And these are some of the works that were put into our Rainbow Shift show for Pride Month. Amy Smith, The Future Is Now, and Shining Moment. David Jester, Balance, and Annie Hong, Dancing Bodies. And sometimes we must venture out to reach the people. This is from our booth at the 6th Street Bridge opening, where we had a free screen printing workshop for the public. We had a lot of people interested in what we do at ArtShare, as well as people who are just interested in doing a little bit of art and learning a little bit more about printmaking. There was a lot of kids who were interested, and it was great to see so many young people interested in trying out some art. I learned that improved organization and communication can aid in sharing creativity. And one of the core values, continuous learning, through weekly meetings, checklists, calendars, and spreadsheets to track the progress and aid in communication, had been very helpful in program preparation. Making sure everyone on staff is on the same page is very important in supporting the mission. I will continue to improve my organization and communication skills in the future as I continue my journey. Persevering through change. During my time at ArtShare LA, there has been change in staff, supervision, leadership, procedure, and policies. At times, it has been difficult and overwhelming, but I have been able to forge forward in the mission of uplifting upcoming artists and sharing art with the community of downtown LA. Take time to heal. Leadership action +1 of the 10 leadership actions. Play, rest, rejuvenate, and heal. And hard work is important, but taking time to rest and heal with the help of loved ones is an important part of the mission and resistance, because if we can't even help ourselves, how are we supposed to help others? Camaraderie is essential, and it's not enough to interact through a crystal ball. We need personal connections with worthy allies to aid in the fight against tyranny. So thank you, Public Allies LA. As the quest tasked by PALA comes to an end, my adventures will continue.
Woo.
Okay, so thank you so much, Tegan, and we love that, like the magic that you brought in, and that's like that's the thing. I remember when they were like, "Be creative," and I was like, "What do you mean?" But I love it. I loved it. I'm so glad you got chosen also for a co-host, but it was great. So next we have a performer from our Pala cohort. Awaken, are you ready? I saw him on the call. Yes, he is here. Awaken, are you ready? Or do you need some time? If not,
Ready.
oh, okay. So I love. All right, well, without further ado, we would like to give the floor over to someone who is so special to me, my brother, my housemate, Awaken.
Thank you.
He's gonna shush us.
Now awaken.
He
All
will
right. So look. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Awaken. And before I start, I just have a little call and response. So when I say always, you say working. Okay? Always.
Working.
Always.
Working.
Always.
Working.
So this piece is called Uplift / More Life. So I hope you guys enjoy it. No matter the twists and turns, I am not a victim, I am a victor. You may see me on the ground, but you better watch me soar. When you come into this world, you have haters and you have supporters. The haters are the ones that when you're down, they keep you down, while the supporters are the ones that pick you up when you frown. You then have the ability to spread your wings and fly. Everybody with me, I'm gonna meet y'all in the sky. I was once a victim, living in the shadow of everyone else, going through life in whatever direction I thought was best. I was so mad at the man who stood in for my father because he left me the day after my sister's funeral, leaving me to become a man the best way I knew how. Hurt, mad, sad, and a little glad with emotions hiding in me, because I knew if he didn't do what he did, I wouldn't be the man that's inside of me. Thank you for all you haven't done, because I made it without you. There was a connection that I was missing, one that no man on this earth could reconnect. It was a connection with my Heavenly Father. I was so young that I didn't know that it bothered me, so I have that connection with him again. He has the ability to wash away all my sins. This is my life. I am happy with who I want to be. I will never give up on my dreams, for my dreams can turn into reality. I will keep my head up so no one can have the ability to look down on me. I've gone through all the twists, and I've turned them into tremendous beliefs in myself. Sometimes I feel all alone, you're present in so many spaces. Focus on the journey and let's worry about the destination. Some will say I've been real patient. Some will tell me just keep praying. Gotta believe it before you see it. That's what they always saying. Over and over, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Hoping that this change is different every time I see. That some things will never change when you grow up in these streets. We elevated from killing each other, killing these beats. Come on, we can catch a vibe. Then at the beach while the sun is setting. So close it's in. I reach, you know we like the spring weather. Baby, you my inspiration. You fulfill my fantasy. You can keep that lovey-dovey stuff, just bring your loyalty. When the sun don't shine and the rain just won't go away. The blessings coming in, so baby girl, don't you ever sway. Yelling more life, more wins. Yelling more life, more wins, and more blessings. Yelling more life, more wins. Yelling more life, more wins, and more blessings. Yelling more life, more wins. Yelling more life, more wins, and more blessings. Yelling more life, more wins. Yelling more life, more wins, and more blessings. Thank you. More life, more wins, more blessings, more peace, more health, more wealth. I love each and every one of y'all. Damn, son, where'd you find this one?
I love you, brother. Thank you.
Love you always.
All right, and without further ado, we have our last poll of the day by a song. And remember, y'all chose this, so we I know you guys must be tired of hearing us talk all day, but one more time.
Book for life. And that simple fact, along with the pressures of being, there is no rule book for life. And that simple fact, along with the pressures of being a Black woman in America, can easily open the doors to imposter syndrome. But with that being said, I'm comfortable saying that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I don't know if I'll have the intended impact. But I do know that I want to create a different storyline for my children and the different communities that I'm a part of. As I feel my way through life, I realize that my children are the future. And it's important that good people leave my nest and enter the world healing all that they encounter. So I start my days at my altar, usually playing Erykah Badu, burning the incense I made with my own hands, with plants from my own garden, praying over my children and loved ones. But now I'm learning to cover the ones I care for in a more impactful way. Once I realized that LA was home, I eagerly threw myself into the work every day. But with new passions, roles, and responsibilities, I learned about burnout and that rest is a revolution. I work as a data assistant at my placement, remotely and mostly independently. And during these 9 months, and even in the spoil process, I struggled to find my impact. Listening to fellow allies talk about their placement on Fridays, I felt like all I do is spreadsheets. But after working on a syllabus, creating a bunch of spreadsheets for my TSP, and some helpful conversations, I saw that with the new skills I've acquired, I'm creating capacity for the people at my placement and in my house, and therefore for my community. But after taking on too much, and as a result, needing to temporarily step back, I learned that I have to pace myself in order to be available for all those that need me. I've learned to invest in and also lean on my community when I need to, because I can't do it all alone. And why would I want to? It would be lacking, because teamwork and collaboration is where the magic happens. During my 7 years in South LA, I've created a family so much stronger than the one I was born into. Everything happens for a reason, and me finding this space was clearly by design, and I'm grateful. One thing my time in Pala has helped me to understand was the importance of putting my intentions and intended output into words for the future. Because I am not my mother or anyone who come before me, and I refuse to repeat any unhealthy or abusive cycle. We're striving for growth in every day. I will pave a different path for my children and grandchildren in the community around me. So together, my kids and I wrote our family creed. 1, everyone makes mistakes. 2, everyone in this house is a teacher, no matter how young, and everyone is a student, no matter how old. 3, we don't keep secrets from each other. 4, we hold ourselves and each other accountable. 5, we don't lie to ourselves or each other. 6, we stay close to God. 7, we honor our ancestors. 8, we strive to be the best version of ourselves. 9, don't be afraid to ask for help. And 10, we don't gossip to outsiders. But as I try to be the best version of me, quite naturally, the hardships keep coming. But I refuse to break, because who will take care of my children if I'm not here? But also, what will I leave my children if in my time I'm only surviving and not thriving? Community economics is the only way. Me being the neighborhood mom isn't an option. Changing our diets, growing our own fruits and vegetables, cooking nutritious foods, it has to happen. SCFL is vital. The children on my block that now call me mom have helped to shape the woman that I am today. The nonprofits that I depended on to survive when I first got here, they helped me to see that I have work to do for my community. And I'm happy to serve, to give and offer the same resources that kept me afloat. After leaving the turmoil of San Diego, I moved to the first place I could find. And although I've watched my kids ignore and work around the unfair and unhealthy living conditions, I'm proud of them, but it hurts me. They fumble with doors and look past holes in the wall, all with a smile on their faces. Because ultimately, I'm the foundation. And although our house is shit, our love is strong. While serving in the pilot program, it helped me to become firmer, if possible, about who I'm really here for and why it's important to continue to do the work. You've all heard it a million times. I'm for the descendants of chattel slavery in America. I'm here for the mental health of cis Black men. And I learned that it's okay to be aggressively for them. Obviously, as a healer, I'm here for everyone. But those two underserved groups will get the majority of my love and my work and my effort. But again, I realized that I was pouring from my own cup all these years and not from the overflow on my saucer. And I burned out. And now I see my mistake and I'm working to be smarter about it. Rest is a revolution. On July 22nd, 2022, my son ran away from home. And for 15 hours, I searched for him while knowing that I needed to work on both my boils, trying to think about the video. But all I had was the haunting visuals of my boy walking away from home. A young Black man, not yet broken, but on the verge. Of course, I took it personally. How could this happen? Because anyone who knows me knows that I'm a loving and supportive, involved mom. He says we're best friends. I'm like, how could this happen? Like, Steve? How could my son feel so down? How did I miss it? I was in survival mode. I'm in Pala. I do hair. I coupon and I sell laundry soap online. I take care of my father now. I'm packing because we're being forced to move. Hell, I don't even know where we're going. I'm just packing. I burned out. And unfortunately, my son suffered from it the most this time. I now see that me taking breaks for myself is me caring for my children. My community came together beautifully, checking their cameras and helping me figure out a place to start looking because, as you know, it's still FTP because they didn't help at all. My placeman in my house gave me grace. The men in my neighborhood have been checking on Stephen ever since. Pouring into my community was actually pouring into my family. So in conclusion, I found that I am not a strong Black woman. I'm a sensitive Black woman, soft and fragile. I need help. I am independent, yet I rely on my community, and that's okay. I'm a teacher, and I'm still learning. I'm a healer, yet I'm still healing from my past wounds. I now know to ask for help when it's needed. I unsubscribe from the strong Black woman trope. Rest is a revolution. I'd like to start my thank yous with Mr. Benny Torres for believing in me, for doing the work, leading by example, and for keeping your promises. To the community, but selfishly, to me. I remember leaving my last job and thinking, what am I going to do? And I remember the day I met you and you said, I see something in you and I'm going to keep you close. I thought I knew what great leadership was, but you set the bar high. To the incredible revolutionaries for being just that, incredible and revolutionary. Always holding space and being such an amazing and collaborative team. And with that, I'd have to say thank you to Sun Sochi for your part in creating this diverse team and for your unique leadership style. You don't push us, but more guide us towards our own personal levels of greatness. You are beyond a friend, fellow crybaby, and now my sister. To awaken, during this time, you have really become my brother. At times in this cohort, I felt like I was yelling in a library. But even though you are the silent lightning to my loud ass thunder, I always know that if anyone understands me, you do. And I don't feel that often. So I thank you and I love you for that. To Daniel Johnson, you've become my best friend, my shoulder to cry on, career advisor, voice of reason sometimes. You are my person. And I hope you know that you are never getting rid of me. To the Black Affinity Group, just for that big ass collective sigh that we all did when we got out into that breakout room together. For sharing this experience with me of walking every day in a country that hates us, in a skin that we can't hide, we can't come out of. And we have to show up every day and do what the hell got to get done. I see you all and I love you all. And to Navor, just for being an amazing human being, a great DJ, a wonderful support, helping me to navigate my own neurodivergencies, but also helping me find the ways in which I want to show up for others navigating their own. For Wednesdays and every day, the text messages, and just for showing me that there is another way to live and thrive, and that I don't have to take whatever is handed to me. You've encouraged me and helped me to reframe so many false ideals I had about myself. And I am so grateful to have met you. Just thank you for literally everything. Your presence has had such a big impact on my time serving in Palo. So that's it. Thank you to the Palo family and staff. Thank you all for being on this ride with me. I know I'm a lot.
There is no rule book for life. And
Okay. I don't think I was supposed to, I shouldn't be presenting after my point, but thank y'all. And hopefully my lovely best friend is in the call, because now it's time for Mr. Johnson. Daniel, you better be here. There he is. Okay, he's here. So we sorry, now it is time for our lovely alumni and yeah, everything you are.
Can we take like a little 2-minute intermission?
I know. This is when I call you after my presentation and cry. It's weird.
Please.
Yeah. Is that okay with the team?
I feel like y'all should drink some water, stretch. I don't know if y'all did that already.
Play some music for us.
Yeah, we can totally take a break, y'all.
Don't come in here telling us what to do.
I'm supporting the process. It's public allies.
So we talked all night about the rest of our lives, where we're gonna be when we turn 25. I keep thinking times will never change. Keep on thinking things will always be the same. But when we leave this year, we won't be coming back. No more hanging out, cause we're on a different track. And if you got something that you need to say, you better say it right now, cause you don't have another day. Cause we're moving on and we can't slow down. These memories are playing like a film without sound. And I keep thinking of that night in June. I didn't know much of love, but it came too soon. And it was me and you, and then we got real blue. Stay at home talking on the telephone, and we would get so excited and we'd get so scared, laughing at ourselves, thinking life's not fair. And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. So if we get the big jobs and we make the big money, when we look back now, will our jokes still be funny? Will we still remember everything we learned in school? Still be trying to break every single rule? Will little brainy Bobby be the stockbroker man? Can he ever find a job that won't interfere with the tan? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. Keep on thinking it's our time to fly. And this is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. Friends forever. Will we think about tomorrow like we think about now? Can we survive it out there? Can we make it somehow? I guess I thought thought that this would never end. And suddenly it's like the women and men. Will the past be a shadow that will follow us round? Will these memories fade when I leave this town? I keep thinking that it's not goodbye. I keep on thinking it's our time to fly. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever.
Hey, Daniel, just checking in to see how you're doing and if you need additional time.
We're good.
Let's give it up for Daniel Johnson again.
Well, I probably did. This is so awkward at this point. I think I probably did like I meant to close some windows. So if you hear construction, just know it's a part of my life. Like everything is always being worked on, including myself.
No disclaimers.
That wasn't a disclaimer. That was swag if you paid attention to what I just said. I know you're gonna hear a lot of nervousness in my voice, but that's just what happens when I'm around and surrounded by people I love. And forgive me for looking tired. If I look tired, it's because I'm tired of everything I'm doing, and I'm always doing a lot. But I swear at the end of the day, for myself and to myself, it's for the better, not for the worse. First and foremost, I would like to shout out this wonderful background I created. I know y'all know what this means. I know y'all know what this is. It's like life, or it could be whatever you want it to be. But just know, even if it's on fire, you can sit there with your cup of dough, what is it, your cup of coffee right here, and this is fine. So I just want to start off and say that. Other than that, I would like to say good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, afternoon to some of y'all folks that are on the East Coast. My name is Daniel Johnson, and first and foremost, I would like to take the time to give honor to someone who has truly invested in my growth and development for the last 10 years. Someone who I'll always respect and will forever be in debt to, Miss Kimberly Williams. So I want to make sure I dedicate time and space for her, because I will not be here if it was not for the amount of work that she invested into me, professionally and personally, listening to all my horror stories and just allowing me to exist. So first and foremost, I just want to share that. Ms. Williams, I want you to know that you're now witnessing the epitome of your hard work and selflessness right here. And this is fine. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Daniel Johnson, AKA D Steezy. For those that know I make music and create it or just know me from the hood, AKA Mayor Johnson, which is actually my Instagram name, but it was coined from the fact that I've done a lot of work. I've interned for the mayor, and I do currently work for the city. Which department I work for, I'll allow you to figure that out on your own. At a young age, I was called into various leadership in various ways. However, I know I don't have the time to explain that to you all, but I will say that at a young age, I did realize that I was very optimistic, philosophical, assertive, creative, and hardworking and loving. And that's always will be my nature. And I share that for all those folks that are into astrology. excuse me. For those folks that are into astrology, in the zodiac, I want y'all to know that I am an Aries sun, a Gemini moon, and a Taurus rising. So for those that are into that, I just wanted to let you all know that my life is literally set up by the universe and divine timing, where I am not meant or I cannot fail. It's just that way. And that's not me being cocky or confident, just based on my astrology, my zodiac. It's just, I've been blessed. I've served in Public Allies Los Angeles for 2 years. I served from 2013 to 14 and 14 to 15. And I had the wonderful pleasure to serve both of my terms at CD Tech as part of the community engagement team, where I utilize my skills in graphics design, public speaking, and outreach. PALA, PALA, for short, Public Allies Los Angeles, was the perfect training ground for my growth and development. I'm from South Central Los Angeles, where it said that we won't make it to C21. And I like to joke. So I joke about that is that I joined the Public Allies program at 24. So that was like a little joke on my behalf that I wrote for myself. At Public Allies on the community engagement team, I want you all to know that I was able to utilize my skills in graphics design, public speaking, and outreach. So I had firsthand experience on being able to work with community members, the youth, and my wonderful team that was led by Susie Cotasetto. However, at the time, joining the program meant it was a great opportunity for me to learn more about myself as a leader, as a person, as a son, as a brother, as a friend, as a lover, and last but not least, as an ally. I say all that to say is because when I joined Public Allies program, I was actually already having deep conversations in regards to allyship. I was already surrounded by folks of different backgrounds and, just breaking bread and building with them. But I don't feel like I had true intention behind it. It was just in my nature. So Public Allies was able to bring it all together for me, make more sense of it, and to make sure that I was truly invested in doing the work of building with community that was diverse. I also fathom being a leader or a voice at the forefront of change, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Stokely Carmichael, Barack Obama, and then I'll say Lil Wayne and Drake. I gotta throw them in there. Like they changed music forever. But little did I know, I didn't have to be the face or the voice of change. I could be the trainer. I could be one of the folks training the next generation of change agents that will work across sectors, infiltrating systems of oppression, supporting folks working through their implicit bias, and overseeing the implementation of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. As a side note, I want you all to know it's not all about talking. It's also about how much work you're putting in and who you know. So participating in the Public Allies Los Angeles program for 2 years was just only the beginning. The real test began when I joined CD Tech as a program manager for the Public Allies Los Angeles program. The emphasis of my role was recruitment. However, I did participate in facilitating trainings, coaching and mentoring, retention, and leading with vulnerability. CD Tech and Public Allies Los Angeles was my training ground and gave me the tools, skills needed to fuel the next fight. So that's the thing. See what I did there? Just want you all to know that throughout your life, your program experience, and today, I'm sure you learn that you cannot continue to move forward in doing this work if you're burnt out. Self-care is the core of what we do, and we have to continue to do the work necessary to implement it in both our personal and professional lives. Taking time to yourself is an act of liberation and not an act of selfishness. How you choose to liberate yourself, you must continue to understand who you are, why you're here, where you're going, and what's needed to get there. You should always question everything, ask for help, think critically, and stay vulnerable at the most important, at any given time. And those are like the most important lessons I've learned on my journey. I want you all to remember the show must go on, and it will go on with or without you, and that's a fact. It's up to you to share your narrative, and it's up to you to keep up as your best self in any and all situations. You must center yourself in love, and most of all, so focus. Focus, focus, focus. You must focus. Believe it or not, I recently got the word focus tattooed on my face. It's two tattoos I have on my face now. To serve as a reminder every day as I look into the mirror to focus on my dedication to healing myself first, so that I can continue to build up and heal the community that I'm from, that I represent, and that I was soon to engage. I also want to state I do work for the city of Los Angeles, and I am here on my own time, my lunch break, to share that little piece with you all. I come from South Central Los Angeles. I work my hardest to get to where I am. My most recent experience I've had in my whole journey was with my aunt recently, who works in the nonprofit sector. And one of the things she said to me that stuck to me, that was not okay, by the way. I can't remember the exact words. It's kind of weird that I can't remember it now live. I'll remember it later. But she had a matter of fact tone because how I communicate and how I show up. The way I show up in person is the same way I show up at work, is the same way I show up with family. And she questioned that. This is a family member that doesn't know much about me, but knows I'm invested in community, and I've had multiple positions of where I was in leadership positions. One of the things she said gave like a matter of fact tone of like, how dare you? How dare you? I know we have all experienced that in the workplace at some time in our life. But when you're showing up being yourself, your full authentic self, then you're showing up great and amazing, that there'll always be someone there that's going to tell you, like, how dare you? Like, who are you? Like, who do you think you are? And all I could tell her was, I'm Daniel Johnson, and I work for the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment for the city of Los Angeles. And I've been doing leadership development and nonprofit work for the last 10 to 15 years. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. I just know when I show up, I give my all, and I'll forever my all to each and every one of you. So with that being said, how dare you all to graduate this program, to put yourself first, to invest in your growth and development, personally, professionally. Like, how dare you to cry amongst family, friends, people you don't even know? Like, how dare you complete this program and take off and fuel the next generation to be able to show up and continue the good fight. So thank you all for having me. I appreciate you all. Shout out to Benny, Claudia, Donna, Brittany, Devore. Shout out to everyone at the City Tech team, Public Allies team, and most of all, shout out to you all. Believe it or not, the fact that you are here is what keeps the program going. So it's been an honor to be here. Last but not least, I'll say, Benny, I'm an invoice City Tech for this because I don't get paid to talk for free. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you. I just want to say that if he is a product of Kim, then I have to thank Kim as well, because Daniel has put in some hard work. I just want Benny, Donna A, everybody, Claudia, Brittany, y'all got to know that he was not there in the office or on payroll, but he was definitely a part of my journey. So thank you, Kim. And now we would like to present the graduating class of PALA 2021-2022 cohort. This is everybody for the most part. I think everybody's in this photo. And this was very hard for Donna to capture, so we really appreciate the effort that went into this. And yeah, these are all of our lovely cohort members, everyone spread across everywhere, doing the work. So next we have some slides of some photos of some highlights. Sometimes we did get together, very COVID friendly, very socially distant. What you see in the pictures are an illusion. Next slide, please. Oh no, we're doing houses? I thought we were doing okay.
Well, congrats to all the houses for all the hard work they put in throughout this cohort throughout the year. Thank you to the House of the Trailblazers.
Woo!
Give it up.
And next we have the Royal House of Saffron. Bam, bam, bam.
Parmesan bread bites, molten lava crunch cakes, and yes,
Give it up to the House of Incredible Revolutionaries.
And next we have Grow Zone.
Grow
Give it up to the House of Pride Rock.
Circle of life.
We have the House of Rest and Blessed.
I'm stretching. I'm resting. I'm blessing.
Ooh, yeah.
OMG, yes, no more.
Okay, we have some highlights, but I would like to see, well, we can do it before, after. We would like to, okay, let's go over these highlights because this will be my second time presenting them. Then after that, we will have some words. But here's some highlights from some times we got together as a cohort. Like I said, it's very COVID friendly. Okay, those hugs are fake. That is a hike that I did not take part in, but I heard it was wonderful and there were great food there that was put on. And it was actually a really nice combo of like a TSP between two houses, which I thought was the most creative thing I've ever seen. And then that was a meetup. Kenneth Hahn, really cool, brought my kids. Cynthia brought her dogs. Taya came through. It was great. We looked at the ducks. Bottom left, that was a get together. Is that a G? I definitely missed that one.
That's for Christmas.
Oh, that was on my birthday. That was on my birthday. I missed that. And then what's that? What's top right? I wasn't there.
TSP, House Pride Rock TSP.
All right, that was wonderful. I heard stuff about that too. Okay, I'm gonna stop flaking, y'all. And then the last one down at the bottom right is the potluck that was held by the Black Affinity Group, where we all got together, broke bread. Lovely Emotep was there, missing his energy. We even got Jamil all the way from New York. That was great. My daughter's in that photo. Elliot's in the house. It was great. All right. Much love, y'all, and it was really good for every time that we got together. Sometimes I wasn't there, but I'll be there more. And then hopefully everybody comes to the thing tonight. So we have someone who would like to give some words, and we want to hear these words from the lovely Kim. I would like to give the floor over. We've spoken her name, we've given her praise, and we're going to give her the time that she deserves.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the invitation to speak. Shout out to Paula Solana at PD Tech. It's very good to be with y'all and see the legacy of what Carlos, Eco, Vanessa, Mia, Shalea, everybody, Lucia, Daniel, all the people from the very beginning all the way till now have invested in, and that's a community for you all, right? The leaders who are really going to matter in this transition that we're not about to be in, like we mid-transition. It's hot, right? So just thank y'all for being like the literal manifestation of why we do this here. Y'all please take care of yourselves. Definitely appreciate what David said, and I appreciate the intergenerational mentorship in this space, because it is real talk. These values, the 10+1, right? They're not necessarily welcome in all of the spaces that you're going to lead in, right? And it's going to require you to be able to step outside of yourself, show grace, understand like intergenerational history and why we are experiencing and will continue to experience, because we all gonna be old one day too, right? A reality where what served us no longer serves us, and we need to put that down and think of a new way of leadership, right? So with that in mind, always continue to be a continuous learner. Live by the code of integrity in the 10+1. They will challenge and crucify you for it, but do it anyway, because the world needs more integrity. And I am going to end with an excerpt from Mustard's Perfect 10. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle, who I think definitely represents and embodies the code for leadership, not just here in South Central, but all around the world, right? Y'all take care of yourselves. This is why I call my thing the marathon, because I'm not gonna lie and portray this ultimate poise like I've been headed figured out. I just didn't quit. That's the only distinguishing quality from me and whoever else is going through this or went through this or is gonna go through this, is that I didn't quit. I went through every single emotion with trying to pursue what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I think what's going to separate whoever's trying to go through something is that you ain't going to quit. That you really going to take the stance, that you're going to die by what you getting at right here, right? I appreciate that sentiment. I want y'all to not only like accept, but adapt it. Live by what you getting at. Support each other, take care of each other, and recognize that it is a marathon, not a sprint. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. The marathon will always continue. And congratulations.
All right, and thank you everyone. Thank you for our guests for coming and speaking some words, and congrats again to all for graduating in 2022. Hope to see you guys tonight. And yeah, thanks so much for coming, everybody. We did it.
We did it.
Congratulations, folks.